how I got my series of children's picture books published. Hello people, I hope you're all keeping well. My name's Ben Andrews and I am debut author of upcoming series of children's picture books, Better Places, set for release later this year to help children think about how places can be made better for disabled people. This is my Inspiration to Publication series where I'm sharing what inspired me to write the books and my journey towards publication, which is the stage I'm at now. Shout out to Tiny Tree. And in this video I wanted to talk about the process I worked through to actually get published in hopes it'll be useful to others. So with that being said, let's get into it. Now when it comes to publishing, there tends to be two main options. You can go down the self-publishing or traditional publishing route. And the self-publishing route is pretty self-explanatory. You write the book yourself and you publish it. Now some people prefer that as it gives you more creative freedom as an author because you've not got a publisher with their own vision and direction for the books, and you also retain all of the profits associated with the books because you've not got anyone else involved, so it's all yours. But with that you also take on all responsibility for the books, so the editing, the proofreading, getting the front cover image designed, getting the whole book designed if it's a picture book as with mine, the marketing, the printing, the distribution, so all of that is down to you with self-publishing. And if you're clued up in this space and know about all of that, then brilliant, self-publishing might be for you, but that definitely wasn't the case for me. So I was keen to go down the traditional publishing route, which is the route the majority of authors take, hence traditional publishing. And traditional publishing is when you write the text and a publishing house or publisher likes it enough to say, we're going to publish that under our publishing house, our brand and our name. Now with that you do give away some creative freedom as you have the input from a publisher who has their own vision and direction for the books and they know the market best, so you are best listening to them, and you also sign the majority of the rights for your stories, for your text, over to the publisher, so you get a percentage of the surplus generated from them, but they're putting most of the work in and they're dealing with a lot of that stuff that I've just mentioned, so you know, pros and cons, but yeah, that tends to be the route that most authors will go down. Now that might sound quite appealing to some out there, so how do you go about getting a publisher? Well, it's not always that easy because a lot of publishers don't accept text or manuscripts directly from authors themselves and will expect these to come through a literary agent. And a literary agent is basically the middle person in between authors and publishing houses, usually pretty well connected within the publishing space, have good relationships with publishing houses and do the work for you to get you in front of publishing houses, and are basically a bit of a vetting service in some ways, so that publishers are only presented with the best of the best when it comes to stories. So how do you go about getting a literary agent? Well, if you Google literary agencies, there's loads out there, so it's best off trying to find one that fits with your genre of book, and you can do that by, again, looking online for the right fit, or if you've got books that you think are similar to yours, you can look to see who represented those books and then reach out to those people directly. And how you normally reach out to them is they'll have some guidance on the website to say, here's what we're looking for, here's what we're interested in, and they'll give you some guidance around how to submit. Now this is usually via email. It can be by post as well for some literary agents, and you're basically pitching to them. So you want to tell them a bit about who you are, a bit about why you think they should represent your book, and why you think you'd be a good fit for them, and of course you want to submit your text and manuscript over to them. And then once you've done that, it's a bit of a waiting game. You might get a response, bearing in mind that these people are seeing thousands of texts per year of people asking will they represent them. So in most cases, or at least for me, you don't get a response. You might get some feedback from literary agents asking you to change a few things, so you've got to make sure that feels comfortable for you. Or you might get picked up, in which case you've got a literary agent and they will then work with you to refine your text, make sure that it's a good fit for the market, and reach out to publishers for you. And for that, they'll take a percentage of the book, a quite small percentage. I think it's in the region of like 10-15%. Might be lower, I'm unsure, because I've not got a literary agent, of the books once you start selling them. So as I've just said, I didn't actually get a literary agent, so what do you do from there? Or you can either give up, call it a day, or you can keep going with the literary agencies, trying to reach out to them. It might just not be the right time for them. They might just be bombarded by texts and the portfolio's full, so it's worth keep going sometimes. I was a bit more impatient. I wanted to go direct to publishing houses, so I started looking for publishers who would accept that, and even those that didn't, thought I'd be a bit cheeky and just send my text in with a bit of a pitch about why I think my text would be a good fit for their publishing house. And again, you wait, you're likely to get less of a response than you do with the literary agents, because some just don't accept manuscripts in this way. Some will send you some feedback, and some may say, we'd like to publish you. For me, it was a long waiting game. Again, I got some feedback, I got a lot of no's, and then Tiny Tree come in like a publishing knight in shining armour and said that they would publish in Better Places. So I was absolutely over the moon, couldn't believe it and still can't. So thank you to Tiny Tree. And that is my publishing journey so far. I can't really talk about much beyond that because I'm still going through the process, but I hope it was useful for some out there. Now, I've said throughout this video that I did get some feedback from literary agents and publishers on my text, and I found some of the feedback really interesting in terms of the expectations of how disabled people should be portrayed within stories, or how stories about disabled people and disabled issues should be put across. And I wanted to explore that in an upcoming series, name yet to be decided. So if that would be of interest to you, then please do stick with me. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please do subscribe, follow, like, share and comment below. I'd love to hear about your journey to publication. Are you still on it? Does it differ from mine? Or have you actually got your books published and out there? And on that, I hope you all keep well, keep safe, and until next time, take care.